Hey, family. I'm SNwadiei. I'm Habasia. Welcome to the show, y'all. I hope y'all ready today for what's going on. It's going to be good, y'all. It's all about feeling invisible. I'll just wait till I see somebody out there in the chat. I know y'all are out there, but I want to see somebody out there in the chat, y'all. See, Mr. Uganda was saying he can't wait. So where you at, Mr. Uganda? Because we're going to be talking about feeling invisible today, or the people that you think of that's that people see as invisible, even if it could be as simple as, or not as simple as, our women in the history. This is a book I just got last week, and it's called Wake: The Hidden History of women-led slave revolts. So, yeah, y'all, a lot of people out there feel invisible, and I'm one of them that felt that way for a while sometimes, and even now, it's like you know that people are going to see you on this broadcast, even if they're seeing you at a later time, because you never know when when the people gonna show up on your lives. You know, now's the time, as they say, but you have to wait and see and wait for the people to come, and then if not, you have to just go on like I'm doing right now. Ah, what brought me to the topic was I asked my my subscribers about topics for further discussions, and this was one of them: feeling invisible. You know, so let's see, y'all, what y'all think about it. Let me see. I'm going to invite y'all to come in here whenever y'all do show up in the chat, and y'all will be able to say something. Y'all don't have to feel invisible today. You can come on in and say, hey. All right. Tell me hello. Who's out there? Come tell me hello and tell me where you're from. Just come in the chat and say hi. As I am waiting, I know others are coming. I changed the live to 2 o'clock. So I did it to 2 o'clock so that way more people would be able to come. But you know, it's the holiday season, so a lot of times people are going to different events and stuff. So I understand what's going on. So who's out there, y'all? Come and let me know. But anyway, with the feeling invisible, it's like it's a feeling of not being heard, even though you have something to say. And sometimes you feel like, anyway, I feel like, I'll talk about me. Sometimes I feel like if I say what I'm really thinking, that people would be upset, you know? And sometimes you just want to pick your battles. Because sometimes you'll be in a group with people and they get real wild, y'all. Okay, y'all, I see it's 4 people out there. Let me know where y'all coming from. Let me know who you are. Come tell me hello. I want to tell all of y'all hello. And I'll continue to go. I also have the link right there, so you can click on the link and I can bring you into the live. All right. Hey, Liz. Hey, all right, Liz, you here. I'll be bringing you in. You see the link. Here's the link again. So you can come into the studio. All right. Who else is out there? You see, Finish the Race, VL. She's out there. She is also Abasia. She became one of my Patreons yesterday. Yay! She's a fabulous new YouTuber. She is going to do fabulous things, great things when she goes back to the motherland, and she'll be doing good things even here before she goes. Because, guys, we are the same, whether we're here or we're in the motherland. And we have things to say, whether we're here or in the motherland. And that's also a part of feeling invisible. It's like when you're in the motherland, people are hearing you. And then when you come back here, all of a sudden, it's like they're disappointed because you're not in a specific place. So they don't want to hear you because you're not living up to their expectations to be living happily ever after and where they want you to be, you know? Okay, Liz, no problem. But yeah, we have to all learn that people are the same everywhere, like Curtis Mayfield used to say. People are the same everywhere, whether I'm here or I'm there, I'm still me, and I still have something to say. Hey, SH. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you, okay? Thank you for coming. I have a link for whoever wants to come in and talk. We're going to be talking about the feeling invisible and what it means to you. If you ever felt that way, if you ever thought of how other people feel invisible or maybe feel like they're somebody that they think of as nobody. Because I have a book called Nobody also, and it's talking about the people that you think of as invisible. You know, it's all of the people that you feel like don't have money or whatever, don't have power, because a lot of times money and power is equated as the same thing, even though it's not, you know, sometimes, because sometimes it is. And the way people feel about themselves, you know, if they feel positive about themselves, you know, or you don't feel positive about yourself and you want to be invisible. You don't want anybody to really see you, because if they see you, then they will know, oh, she don't smile all the time. She's not happy. And you may feel like it affects your livelihood, that you may lose your job or something, you know? So it's a lot to want to feel invisible. I know that our ancestors back in the day, a lot of times had to just be a fly on the wall. Literally, they'll be there taking care of other people, but they couldn't say anything unless they was, you know, speak when spoken to. And then they'll come home and they'll pass that same message to you, you know, speak when spoken to, or what I don't know, don't hurt me. So you'll make sure that they didn't see you when you was doing what they didn't want you to do, you know, because that's what I'll be talking about first, the feeling invisible. And I know one of my friends was telling me that sometimes she feels like elders are abused, you know. And do you feel invisible as an elder? Do you think you of yourself as an elder, or you think of yourself as just you? and that you're getting older. You can realize that you're getting older because you can look in the mirror and you can see yourself. You can see yourself, and yes, you know that you are getting older. So that's the thing, you know, getting older. You feel like a senior because once you're a senior, some people actually make you invisible, try to take away your power, down to doing everything for you or wanting to replace you. Like in that the Bible story, you know, the prodigal son, give me my stuff now, because they don't want to wait till you leave because they think you owe them something. So that's what she says, that she thinks that a lot of times with elders, they are the invisible people, the people that have no power. And I'll let somebody else chime in that wants to chime in. Who else is out there, y'all? I know it's some more people out there. See 5 people out there. I want to tell everybody hello. I don't want anybody to think that I'm trying to ignore them, because I'm not, y'all. But it's about feeling invisible and creating real unity. Because a lot of times people have been talking about unity lately, but all I've seen them is end up fighting amongst themselves and trying to make division amongst themselves for no reasons, really. You know, no legitimate reasons. It's like, just like I can go to the motherland and my brother and sister from the motherland are welcome to come here. I have lots of friends here that's from the continent. I have lots of friends on the continent, whether they're online, offline. We get along fine. I don't have any issues because of where they come from. And me, myself, personally, I have my relationships with people who can also speak my language. They probably speak English way better than I do, because I'm speaking of what the Texas draw English, and it was not even like that until I moved back to Texas from Chicago, because I was a registered nurse at the time, and my patients did not recognize me. They didn't recognize me. And so I had to do what I had to do. You know, I had to change how I sound and all, because they would be saying, "What you say? What you say?" So I was even invisible at work because they didn't hear me. So that's what I had to do. As they say, you have to do what you have to do. So chime on in here, y'all. Let me know who's out there, what y'all doing today, what y'all think of the topic. As Mr. Uganda was talking about, he couldn't wait. So where are you, Mr. Uganda? But yeah, y'all, I definitely remember lots of times feeling invisible. Okay, as I age, I feel a little invisible as a woman. However, I do not look at it as a bad thing. I feel more free to be me. Okay, that's good if that's how you feel. But what about when you want to tell people something and they don't really listen to you? They don't hear you because they think you don't know what you're talking about, because they think they actually know better than you. They think that, oh, what you're saying is just from the old days. Not saying that you run into people like that, but I'm just asking, because sometimes people think of older people as we age and think of just putting you in a home for old people. Even like in the United States, all of these senior citizen communities, assisted care living, and all of that. A place for mom. I used to hate that ad. I used to hate that ad. A place for mom, because to me it was like trying to erase the power of the parent in their own home, that you would just take them and put them in the nursing home. And sometimes, yeah, it's because they might have some kind of bad health issues, or uh, might be having Alzheimer's or organic brain. But sometimes it's simply that they lived alone and they felt like nobody was going to help them, that the neighbors wouldn't hear them, their family wouldn't come in and check on them. So they had to be in assisted care living, so they could push the little button and say, I've fallen and I can't get up, So I used to have, I'm telling you, because to me, a lot of people ask me, do I know of what's going on in the Gambia, and do they have things for seniors to do? And all I can tell them is I don't know, because the things I do is the things that I've always done that make me happy, and it has nothing to do with an age limit. It's not like I'm trying to look in a book to see what activities senior citizens like. Is when I was in a 50 plus program at the college, at the community college, all of the classes was just still activities that all of us liked all along. It's just that we didn't have time to do those hobbies at first. That's all. But it's not that it was something that you would think of as that old people do, painting, ceramics, glass fusion, jewelry making, knitting, sewing, quilting, all those different things. But I do feel freer as I'm older, only because I have the time to do the things that I always wanted to do. But I do want to also be taken seriously when I tell somebody something, and not them just think that since I don't physically have the power, they don't have to listen. They can just do whatever they want, instead of actually hearing what I'm saying. All right, I see some more y'all out there. Let me know where y'all coming from, y'all. Let me know. I want to see you guys out there. As they say, come on. I want to see y'all. Come tell me something good. I want to tell everybody hello, because I don't want anybody to feel invisible, that I don't see them and don't acknowledge that they're here. So come on in, y'all. And I tell you, I did have my name on here, but then once I clicked that feeling invisible deal, I don't know what happened. But that's okay. You can keep it on there. Y'all know who I am already. It ain't like I gotta tell y'all who I am. All right, everybody, check in. Check in. Okay, there you go. Y'all know I'm learning how to use this. Oh, I'm learning how to use all of this stuff, because I do not know. Okay. Thank you for participating. So they may not listen, but most times they soon find out that they should have. It's also a new generation, and some things they know how to handle better for these times. Yeah, but handle better for you? Oh, because that's the invisible part that I feel. I have no problem with people doing whatever they want to do for themselves, but it's when they don't do something that I want them to do for me that I have the issue. I don't really care what somebody else does to make themselves happy and do and get their needs met. But when I'm trying to get my needs met, I need somebody to listen to what I'm telling them and then do that. Especially when I'm paying them. And yeah, especially when I'm paying them. Oh, Cincinnati, shout out. Thank you for participating. I really do appreciate that. It helps a lot. I appreciate you. But I'm telling you, I'm okay with people doing whatever they feel like, but I do not appreciate people that hear me and don't do what I ask them to do, especially when I'm paying them. I want to be heard and know they don't know what's best for me. So that's all I'm talking about. That feeling of invisibility, that people don't hear what you're saying. And then sometimes, like when you're interacting with people, it's like, I know that I'm old, that I'm 68. And so, yes, we was brought up to respect our elders. And unfortunately, some people don't have any home training, so they don't. And so they will get, thank you. Some people get up and get on these things. And even though it's like when you're talking, they may know that you're talking first and they'll stop you and say, "Oh, excuse me, sister." But then they will continue to talk. It's like, I just thought it's common courtesy if somebody started speaking first, even if I accidentally started speaking, that once I acknowledge that they spoke first, that I would just go ahead and let them go on and go, and I will wait my turn, But like you say, it's a new world, but that doesn't mean people can't learn how to respect one another, because that's where, to me, the unity part comes in. It's like, how can we not be unified if we can't respect one another? Okay, I'm going to bring in Finish the Race, VL. Hey, sister.
Hey, I'm having an issue here.
What's happened? Do you have one of your tabs open? Hey, sister.
I'm trying to figure it out. Let me figure it out.
Okay. Do you have one of your tabs open?
I have the tab that's on YouTube. Okay, let me cut that down. Maybe that's it. Let me see if that's it.
Yeah, because you can't have it on while you're talking.
Okay, yeah, that was it.
I learned that because I was on somebody else's live and I had, I think, a Patreon tab open and it was giving feedback. And once I clicked it off, it cleared up. So I was like, oh, I'm learning.
Look, I am too. I don't feel too comfortable doing these lives, but I'm doing this to support you and then also my extended family that's out there. That's abroad, that's in the US, UK, Africa, wherever parts of Africa you at. We're all one family, one people. So, and I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone as well.
Well, believe you me, same thing here. What I did is I set up the studio, then I turn around and I still set up the studio because it has like little shadows and stuff behind me. And so you have to try to figure out with the other lighting. So I'm trying my best too. And so I'm not comfortable when I do this either. I say, I gotta go. And then when you cut the live stream on, it'll be like 0 people there. And so you're like talking and it's recording. And I know y'all will see it, but it's still funny that I'm talking to, the little counter at the top that says 0.
Yes. Well, Eventually they're going to log in. We'll see it. I'm trying to read the comments on my cell phone because
Oh,
when you're on StreamYard, you can't see the comments.
oh, okay. 'Cause
Um,
I can see mine only because I'm on the inside of the studio.
I wanted to ask a question.
Okay.
That SH, I don't know if SH is still there in the comments,
Okay.
but and I do apologize. I don't know if SH is a female or male. Um, they stated was as I age, I feel a little invisible as a woman. Excuse me, she's a woman. Sorry, as a woman. However, I do not at. She said I do not look at it as a bad thing. LOL. I feel more free to be me. I understand how she feels about that because you don't have the judgments of others that's dictating on how you should be as an individual, because I feel the same way too. It seems like the more you be surrounded by people, the more of it could be negative or positive, but sometimes it seems like the negative stuff can be so much louder. And because me, I know I have a different personality, and sometimes people may not be drawn into that, or they may see me as a quirky type of, I don't know, type of person, and they really don't hear me out as an individual. So I'm an introvert, by the way. I prefer to be, to myself. However, I do understand the importance of unity and the importance of having some type of small knit community that can be there to support you for whatever you need. We all need each other. We can't live our life in this world just by ourselves and feeling invisible, or don't feel, or not feeling important, because we're all important in some type of way or in some type of capacity. And I just feel like we as a community have been through so much, to the point where in order to have that safe place, we kind of draw ourselves away from the masses or whatever. People, we don't know people's background, we don't know people's experience in life, their childhood, their adulthood, or whatever would make them behave or feel a certain thing. Like, okay, so let me give you an example. Like this whole transition for that I'm doing here, my journey to Africa or whatever. I've been trying to find a little small knit of a family that I know that if I need to go to them for any advice or any help, or vice versa, if I have that. But it's kind of hard to find that because everybody seems to be on their path to do their own thing. Everybody have their own arguments and experiences of what they've been dealing with, either in the UK, America, or whatever. It seems like, for me, let me just say that for me, I don't know about anybody else. Sometimes you do feel like you're invisible, And then sometimes when I see these lives that are out there, I don't think it's and I'm not trying to target anybody. I feel like the panel of people is not diverse to hear everybody's experience, female and male, old and young, you know. Um, I think everybody's voice is not being heard,
Mm-hmm.
where we can all learn from one another. I mean, this is just something that I'm just personally seeing for myself in the YouTube world. Outside of the YouTube world, it can be a little bit different, or it can be the same. But from what I'm seeing, I just feel like every voice is not being heard, that we can be there to help one another.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing something?
Yeah, this is what she's saying. She's saying, yes, I do feel like I need to fit in like I did when I was young. I don't feel like I need to fit in like I was younger. And that's good.
Okay. She said, yes, I don't feel like I need to fit in like I did when I was younger. You're right. You don't. And that shouldn't be the purpose of what we should strive for, to be heard. However, everybody has something important within themselves that can be shared within the community, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I get it. You're not doing it to be seen. You're not doing it to be a part of a clique. You're not doing it to be, the circle, which I never was a part of, because I've never been a part of anybody's circles. I was always like an outcast, like, oh, she's different. She's not like, yeah, But I get what you're saying, SH. It is. you don't have to strive to be that, but I think your voice and you being you is very important to my life, to Miss Stephanie's life, to somebody's life out there, because you have something that you can share with us that can help one another. Like lately, just recently, I've been developing a relationship with Miss Stephanie, via telephone. There's so much that I've been learning from her just by the conversations that we had. I've reached out to her because I wanted to know more about her. And as we actually getting to know more about one another. There's a wealth of information that she has. I mean, guys, I be begging her to do. I'm like, you should bring this up on your channel. And she's like, oh, it's going to go over some people's head. It might be too deep. It might be too much. And I'm like, no, this is the information that we need to hear. We need to hear from people who have the wisdom for the younger people. You hear what I'm saying? And I don't want to be offensive when I say this, but I believe she has so much to offer. Maybe one day I can convince her to share those topics that we talk about. She has guys, I'm telling you, if you listen to some of the stuff that she says, it would help our community in so much. It would bring awareness to you in such a way that have you thinking in a way that you have never thought to think in that realm, And she knows what I'm talking about. I won't say it. She
I
knows
know what you're talking about.
So
I hear you.
we all have something to bring. We all have something to bring. So
You're right. And that's why I do the live. That's why I'm doing the lives. That's why I got out of bed and I came here, even though I felt uncomfortable doing it. And when I saw Mr. Uganda's post, it said one waiting. And he said, I can't wait. And he don't understand. But that was just such a boost for me. It gave me what I needed to say, it's a good thing then that I'm doing this today. Because it's like, you feel like, does anybody care really? Do they miss me? Because when I be doing all of these uploads all the time, it's like nobody is looking. And then when some of them sign back on, they'll be like, oh, long time. I haven't seen you in a long time. It's like, I upload every day. I'm like, please, punch the notification button so you'll know when I upload, because I be feeling like, oh, I'm not seen. Even on YouTube, I feel invisible. It's like all of this hard work I'm doing and it's not being seen, and I'm trying to spread the message because I promise I'm trying to be honest with people and fair with people. I'm not doing this for any money. I'm doing this just because I care about all of y'all, and I'm putting it out there in the universe. And hopefully you'll understand what I'm trying to say, because all I want is to have a nice, safe venue for people to come and voice their opinions and not feel like they being judged or attacked. Because I agree with you, Liz. Lots of times I've been seeing people come on and their whole idea is to tear somebody's ego down, and they say that as a premise that they've been studying and everything. And it's like, it's like a boxing match, and I won. It's not about winning. We can't be unified if that's what we want to do. It's just win. It's not about winning. We're supposed to be doing this together,
Right.
And to me, just say, when I go to the motherland, the people that I feel like are invisible are the average, everyday people that folks on YouTube call the locals. And when they say the locals, they actually mean the people that don't have the money, the people that's giving them some type service. And so they actually make themselves believe that they are forming real relationships with people that are taking care of their needs, because they really have not met the elites in that country, the people that would be their peer group. And even if they do meet their peer group, like in passing, they'll think of them, oh, that they so grandiose and they this and they that. And you'll have to imagine this is somebody who's in the majority, just the way you felt when you got off that plane and people said, welcome home. And you felt so good because people saw you as a human being and not just somebody to be tolerated. You know, that's how they felt all their life, you know?
Yeah.
So it's no need in being hating to anybody, that you just realize that that's how other people see you too.
Right.
And that until the day that you can empower one or two, because you only can be effective to the immediate people in your area, that you, if you could just help one or two people to just go to the next level, even if it's just with minimal technical training, or if they just need, just say, their supplies to get their artwork completed or whatever, so they could go out there and sell it, help them to get to another level. And then that person actually would be at a level where they don't really need you anymore. And then, yeah, you'll actually have a real relationship because it'd be among equals, you know? And so then the whole paradigm would change. To me, that's the real unifier. Because as long as you can just see somebody as they need you, it's never going to be unity, because they're going to always feel like you only want them to be lowest of the lowest caste, and that they'll never have any upward mobility.
That is very important. That's very important. Um, I was thinking of one thing while you were speaking. What I would like to challenge a lot of, not only the viewers but the YouTubers that are out there. I don't know every YouTuber that's out there that's on the topic of what we discuss, and also about the repatriation to Africa. But the few channels that I've seen, is very few that I see that's putting into action what they're preaching that we should do as a people. I see a lot of people preaching that we should we should unify, we should do this, and we should do that, and we should do this, but their channel is not reflecting or showing that unity. A lot of what I see, and is just me, trying to build up whatever platform they're trying to build up, or whatever establishments or businesses that they're trying to build. But yet it's more or less, what can you do for me? How can you scratch my back and I scratch yours? I get that when it comes to, a business standpoint, but it's so much more than others who are not on the YouTube platforms, that are people who are watching behind the scenes, people who are making their decisions on the information that the YouTubers are pushing out. But I feel like in order to be seen, and also to unify, we need to start showing what unification looks like in the community, not only with the diasporians, but also with the locals, the people who are there. How are you putting that into action? What does that look like, other than you showing a video of them selling some fruits, or you going into their schools to show, okay, these are how they're educating their kids there. You see the videos or whatever, but no, how are you actually unifying and integrating and helping one another, than just displaying them on display, or just speaking it by word? I know I can't be the only one that's out there that's feeling that way, because I'm not seeing it. I see a lot of people speaking it, but I don't see it in action. And I feel like if we see it more in action, that can help define, or at least understand, what we can do and what we can also bring and offer to one another. So that's even with me. Even though I know I'm here in the US, I just did a recent video about my 6 months countdown. I want to show in action exactly what I'm trying to bring when I'm there, and how to, one, integrate with the land, the language, the people, and then also showing how unification looks like. I want to see more of that.
Me too. I do. Because I'm telling you, what I saw last night on one of the YouTube channels made me very sad. Because sometimes I think when you announce even pricing, that it's really detrimental to the people there. Because it's like we're imagined a place like Ghana that's so expensive, because as the diasporans go there, the prices go up because it's supply and demand. And so imagine that the people there are still getting paid the regular Ghana salary. So when you see the quote poor areas, that's what they're there because they can't afford to be anywhere else. And I've heard people say, oh, they're used to that. But that's not a point that they're used to that. They have no choice, because of what they get paid. Because the guy on the video, he was talking about how he paid his laborers, and it was like less than $20 a day. And just say this is like people that do the masonry making less than $20 a day. And then the other guys just say maybe way less than that, even per day, not per hour, and they're out in the hot sun all this time. Mm-hmm. And we think that it's okay. It's like, but how is they really changing things? So you creating a village for the diasporans to come and to rest their heads, but the people there is not having the same opportunity. That at least you could think that even get me at least $20 a day for the bricklayers, because when you go to the store and buy things for your family, you got to pay the same prices that they ask for us, or go to these little bitty stores in the back, in the booth in the back, where you're trying to get second hand stuff or third hand or fourth hand stuff because that's all you can afford, and some of them don't have no electricity or water or anything because they don't make the money. Because where I go in the Gambia, the neighbors come and plug up their little phones because they don't have electricity at their house to charge the phones. And then they come with empty water bottles to fill the water bottles because they don't have water, So I would like to see unity mean that we actually, like I said, helping one or two people a piece, because we'll be a big group coming in to help that to change. Like I said, at least for your next door neighbor, that they gonna help you build your house or your repatriation village, but they still gonna be living the same way, and you don't really notice them. They're invisible. You might just see them when they sitting down drinking some palm wine after working all day long for one of the people that's acting like you, and then you'll judge them for trying to get a break. It's like, can they get a break? But they invisible, so you don't see them until when they trying to get a little rest.
Yes, I like that. I like the fact that you brought up if we can adopt, or I don't know if that's the proper word to say that, or help. Okay, if we can just help one or two of the locals that are there, for them to gain whatever knowledge, business knowledge, financial literacy knowledge, educational knowledge, to help them to advance from a place than what they've been or what they have been struggling with. And that's one of the things that I want to do while I'm there. I spoke with you, on the phone, where I said, I want to build a school for kids who are not able to pay for education, because the schools in Africa are not public. They're not public education where it's free. They have to pay to go to school. I want to be able to sponsor children who are not able to get education. I also want to be able to help a young businesswoman or young businessman to build a platform or to build a business that they may not been able to do by themselves because of the poverty that may be happening in their community. So if we can just integrate with one or two that in itself is helping someone, is unifying with someone. I think that's very important to do. And I get it that, majority of the people who are there, I think it's also first important for you to build your foundation
Hmm.
before you can start helping someone else. And I get that. And you can see it across the board in YouTube that everybody who's there, the first thing what they do, they either find land or they find a house to rent out, until they're able to buy their land and build their homes. I get it. You have to first build yourself up first before you're able to contribute to somebody else. But I know that there are some people who've been there for years. I mean, decades. And I'm not talking about the ones who's been there just for, a few months or to a year or 2 years. There are people who've been there for decades. And I'm not saying that they not all of them are not doing it. And some people may not be on YouTube showing the works that they're doing, showing the unification of what they're doing while they're there in Africa. But I would like to see more of the people, YouTubers who have been on the continent for at least 5 years or more, to say, okay, at this point, you should have established yourself with your home, with your business, with everything else. Now, what else are you doing to help to give a portion of the wealth that you have gained to help someone else to build them up? Because even for me, even here in the US, I didn't do it by myself, even though I may have not had my parental guidance. But there are people who came along my way in my life that poured into me the knowledge that I needed in order to advance me. It didn't come by myself. It may have been for a season, but when they came, I got what I needed from them. I got the knowledge that I needed to receive from them in order for me to elevate to the next level. Somebody took their time with me. Somebody sacrificed their time with me. Even money. Money, money can go a long way. But if you don't have the monetary funds to do that, then okay, your education, your skills, like a mechanic. If you're a mechanic, train someone on how to be a better mechanic. If you're a seamstress, train them on how to be a better seamstress, or a hairstylist, or whatever talent or skills that you have that you learned along the way. Teach that local Gambian, that Nigerian, someone from Ghana, wherever you are, train them on those skills where that can help build them up, and also whoever else is coming along behind them. Those are the things that I would like to see, and I have not seen. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, and I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, but I haven't seen it visually in the YouTube world. And if we can see that, then maybe that can help prepare us to say, okay, maybe there is something that I can contribute, and there is something that I can offer in our community.
I agree. And for me, it's like when I practice my cooperative economics, I actually don't like bargaining all the way down. It's like after I'm in a place for a while, I know the average prices for things, but I don't try to undercut people because I understand that it's actually a business. And how can you get to the next level if everything has to be according to the local rate? I actually think that it should be a local rate and not. It's like somebody that work all day long and get less than $20. Why should I pay the same $1 for my hair to be washed and styled that they pay? You know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a problem paying $3 to get my hair washed and styled or whatever. It's not going
Yeah.
to kill me because here would it cost a whole lot more. Because at
Yeah.
least if the diasporans did actual cooperative economics, where you actually are trying to help somebody get to the next level, if you don't consider it as a tip or whatever, because you could do that. If somebody gonna do whatever for you and you know they did a fine job, if they told you, okay, it's $1.25 for the hairstyle, give them $2.50. If a lot of people was in the area and they consistently did that, it would be so much improvements just in that one institution that they probably could even hire more people to help. They could get better hair care products to do your hair the next time. Lots of things could change. But if all they was functioning on is the same exact money that they would get from somebody who's barely making $1 to $2 a day, which is what the average person be making in most of the developing countries, you know. So that would help them, because it's not helping them when we just bring a container of stuff and just dump on them, you know, because it rolls downhill. It's like whatever we give them, then the person that was selling it to them before goes out of business because of all of the stuff that you gave them. When if they had a chance to work for a decent wage, they could actually make everybody a little bit better off by being able to pay them more, and or at least be able to frequent their establishment more. You know, you would be able to see everything develop at another level. And once people not worrying about food, clothing, and shelter, then you could do with all this neighborhood clean up programs and stuff, you know, because then they would be thinking at a different level, you know.
Right. Yeah. They will be thinking at a different level because now they have the basic essential things that they would need, like you said, food, water, shelter, clothing, which each people strive to work for each day. So, yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I
I
agree.
see it's more people coming in. If y'all, when y'all coming in and y'all new people coming in, please just let me know where y'all coming in from so I can tell y'all hello. I don't want y'all to feel invisible, that I don't see y'all, that I'm ignoring y'all, because I'm not, you know, but I'm trying my best to keep up with the comments. As the channel grows, I'll add moderators. Right now, I'm promise I'm not trying to ignore anybody.
Mm. Is still in the comments? Because if so,
Yes,
I would like
yes.
for her to come. She need to come onto the live.
So she said, so true.
Come onto the live. Click on the link.
Hopefully she feels comfortable to come. If you feel
Yeah.
comfortable to come, come.
Come
But
on.
if
Come on.
not, I appreciate you coming up in the chats, because really I know it's a lot of people that might be out there watching, but they don't even want their names or initials to be shown. They
She's
just
gonna come. Is SH gonna come? She said okay. She's gonna click on that.
okay. Do you see the link? Do you see the link? I put the link out there. Because if you put the link, you just click the link and you'll come into the studio and I'll click you in. I'm excited.
I am too, because I
Yeah,
want to hear her thoughts.
yeah. Because really, I'm trying to make this a safe place, y'all. Okay. Maybe she getting her
She's
camera and
probably
stuff together.
no, she's probably doing it because you have to make sure your mic is right and
Oh,
this is
yeah, that's
right.
right. That's right. You know, I'll be forgetting that.
And the camera,
Yeah,
or
because I'll be
whatever.
doing it 2 times.
And this is new. This is new for all of us. We're
Yeah,
learning as we go. Um, yeah, I think it's important that everybody should be heard
yeah,
and everybody should have an opportunity to be able to contribute to one another.
yeah. And
Um,
not feel threatened or
yeah,
when they do it.
and don't feel like you're not important because you're not a part of the popular, people or whatever the case may be. We're all important in our own individual ways, and yeah, I think it's very important. SH, where are you?
She, like you say, she probably have to check the camera and the mic. Because I'm telling you, I don't check into a lot of people. Okay, here she goes, Denise.
You see
Hey,
her?
Denise. Hey, hey, yeah, yay.
Oh my gosh, how are you?
Doing wonderful. How are you guys?
We
Good.
barely hear you.
Oh, let's see. Can you hear me any better? Yeah, it's just the volume is low.
Oh, I turned it up as high as I could.
Can you get closer to the mic? Maybe then. Uh-oh, then turn you sideways. Maybe it's just too far from you because I'm like sitting like right at my computer on this little old table.
Can you hear me now?
Are you on your phone or a laptop?
I'm on my phone.
Do you have a cover on your phone, like some type of?
Um, no, not one that I can take off. I'm probably using headphones.
Because
Maybe what?
something is covering up your microphone. Something is covering up your microphone.
Hey, can you hear me now? No. Okay,
It's
let me.
just low. It's just low. Bring your phone closer then.
Well, I'll have it all up in my face if I bring it.
That's all right.
Let me see if I can
You
get up.
you look good, sis.
Here we go.
Hold it closer so we can hear you. That's all.
Now,
Yes.
okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
It's yeah, it's still low, but we can hear you.
Okay. All right. Well, what did you want to know?
Well, what are your thoughts? I know you said that you don't strive to be seen or to what was that you said? I don't feel like I need to fit in
Right.
like I did when I was younger.
Well,
Um,
I have four daughters and a son, all grown, very doing well for themselves. So, but when I was younger, prior to even having my children, it was the peer pressure of trying to fit in to have friends or either whatever trend was going on, you wanted to kind of be a part of it. I've always kind of been a quiet person that kind of stayed to myself. So, but as I get older, it's like I live my life on the terms that I want to live it on, and like I have locks in my hair now. I in the job that I do, I would have never gotten locks. But as I get older and towards retirement age, I'm like I'm gonna do my hair like I want to do it. So
yeah.
things like
What made you not feel the freedom to do your hair like you wanted to do before? Why now? Why you didn't have the freedom before?
well, I was in a conservative field. Well, I still am, but I'm getting ready to be out of it in a couple of years. And it just didn't really fit that much. I'm not, they're not a lot of black, but so I always kept like a conservative hairstyle
Okay.
that was conservative. But I would always look at other people's hair and I would love it. So,
So it's considered not conservative to have your hair in locks.
well, you just didn't see it where I was at all until younger women came in, and then they started to do different things with their hair to keep it more in a natural state. And so it's acceptable. No one said anything to me. It could have been my own perception of it, but just being in that field all this time, I just never, and it's in government, but it was just a conservative look.
Because even the way you wear it in now, it looks nice. You know, you have it pulled back or whatever. I feel like if it's not all over the place, like you just woke up out of bed or whatever, it makes me think, is that part of the systemic, I don't want to say to use the word racism, but we've all experienced that because I've experienced that working in corporate when I did work in corporate in the mortgage industry, that they didn't have to so much voice it, but you kind of felt it that this was not acceptable because it made other people feel uncomfortable, and we know what the other people are. So you're kind of groomed and trained to not come into work or even go to schools because there's stories now where there are kids in college or even in high school that are forced to cut off their dreadlocks.
Mm-hmm.
That's going on now.
This day.
Not being able to be yourself, not able, like you said, now that I'm getting closer to a retirement, I'm feeling more where I can just be free and be myself and not think worry about what others think about. But it's like, Why do we have to go through almost our entire lives to have that freedom once we get too close to retirement?
Right. But the younger generation, I don't, they're not. And a lot of my generation didn't either. I just was like that. But I see my children, they do their own thing with their hair, with whatever. And it, they could care less. But like you said, just the generation I came up in, I still permed my hair, everything, till I was up until an age. But I don't know. I don't care anymore. I
Yeah.
just wear it how I want to wear it, and I actually love it. I didn't when I first got it. It took a minute for it to grow on me, but I love it.
You got that freedom and you don't have to curl your hair every day. You can just shake it and go. Yes.
So Stephanie, I'm a Patreon. I
Okay.
when you were when I first saw you over in the Gambia, I
Uh-huh.
saw you were still learning how to use the camera and everything.
Oh, thank you so much for telling me.
And you encouraged me to travel because I actually Africa came on my radar when everything was shut down, and I
Uh-huh.
started because before then I was busy and just didn't really pay attention. I just was all my life I've been wrapped up in my children and my family and all of that, my job, grandkids. But you just showed me a different side of the way you traveled by yourself, and I'm like, well, you can do what I can do.
Well, thank you so much for telling me that. That's the only thing that actually kept me coming back to try to do it again, because when I was in the Gambia, I had to use my old phone that has a app that's real limited, because the iPhone had so much data on it, it wouldn't upload. It wouldn't upload properly. And so that's how come I had to do the little short videos. And people would say, well, you can do longer videos. And it was just that it took like hours sometime to upload those videos in the Gambia. Yeah. And I had to like keep going to buy more data at the store, because it would like eat up data and it still wouldn't work. Because sometimes the electricity would be off. So the internet wouldn't work. Like for the whole of Gambia, all of the internet would be off for the whole day. And I'll be telling y'all, I just got it back on, and it just took all these many hours to record. And it was just so nice to know that y'all was watching, and y'all was asking me about the po dogs and asking me about their names. And they just came with the Airbnb.
Oh, yeah, they
So
talk
that's why I called them dog.
about I appreciate seeing it. So
Well, I hope you'll be able to visit the Gambia when I'm there so we can do some stuff.
hopefully, so I like to visit next year.
Okay. Okay. Because I plan on going back there before the summer is finished. So I can get my fence put up. My paperwork is going, as they say, slowly, slowly, to where it'll actually be free land eventually. So it's getting a little bit closer. So when I go, I already have my fence permit. So I'll get the fence put up, and I'm going to record all of that so y'all can see.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
That'd
And
be
then
nice.
that community-based organization, it's already in the works. So when I go there, I can, go with them so they can get it all registered and all, so they can be doing their own thing. Because to me, the community-based organization is the key to help the people that's there, that everybody call the locals, to get to another level. Because they have to be able to do cooperative economics together, so they can support each other, so they can be able to demand more for their products, And when they say a price, stick to that price, even if they're willing to let you walk off, you know? Because sometimes people give them such little, they barely make enough to just go buy food for their family for that day, even though their artwork is fabulous, and all that art supplies cost money because everything's imported pretty much, you know. So even if we could just encourage them to use the found art, as like paint on doors, paint on whatever, when they understand that the world actually has been doing this, like Basquiat and all, for a while, to let them know that you can go to the dump and find things to paint on, and you could actually sell it. It's just all a matter of perspective. you know
And you never really think about that. The work that they put into it, the amount of money that they had. They probably had to sacrifice something to get the materials or the tools that
hmm
they need to produce the product that they trying to resell, and then people are haggling them down on the price to the point where sometimes they do it out of desperation where they just accept it because like you said, we don't know if they're trying to feed their children
hmm
later in the day. So let me just take it for that price. So I never really thought about that. But usually, if they give me a price, I just go with it. Now, sometimes they do try to cheat you. And then some of those prices are a little bit too high. And it's like, come on. Because when I was in Nigeria, I was going to go buy some soup that I knew cost 300 nairas, but they told me 1,000 naira. And I'm like, come on now, that's like three soups. You
yeah.
know, some of them will try to take advantage of you because they think they see you as a foreigner or whatever. But if they're being reasonable with the price and then the currency and everything, you become educated, then by all means, just go with the first price that they give you if it's not too far off for what the rest of everybody is doing there. And
Yeah.
that's helping that person to build their business.
hmm
Yeah.
And I think we have to form a appreciation for art, because actually that might be something that would be a good class for us to do when we're there. Art appreciation. So people will actually understand what it takes to create an original work of art, that it is not something that you just go to the store and get a prefab painting. That's a print. That a print and an original is different. And people have to understand that, because just imagine if I was going to a gallery here, the prices are prohibitive for me. I can't even have an art collection here because of how much stuff costs. Now, before I could, because I would actually interact with the original artists, and they would be where they didn't understand how much art was worth either. So I have gotten original prints for $35 back in the day. I have got uh, the artist proofs for the same price. And now you go somewhere, it'll be like thousands for artwork here. If you go, just say, even to a gallery that's inside of a restaurant, just say in Houston, you'll see something for 4,000 to 8,000. And when you're in the motherland, you'll probably get it something in that same genre for $100 or less, and it's building your collection. But somebody might want to get it for the price of a print, because they know that person doesn't understand the worth of original artwork, and they might get it signed and everything and then come back here, to the US anyway. Because I don't know where everybody's watching this from. They'll come to the US and then sell it for hundreds or thousands, and that person got barely enough to eat.
Wow.
Because you saw my artwork that you fell in love with.
It's beautiful. Yeah, that was a very beautiful. It was a masterpiece. It was beautiful. I was in awe. I would love when I'm going to visit the Gambia and probably around March of next year. I would love to meet that artist and also support his business.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a question for SH. Are you planning to, are you just going there to visit, or are you thinking about moving to America, or?
Not really thinking about moving at this point,
Mhm.
but I do want to. I want to
Awesome.
see what's over there.
Visit is fine.
Yeah. Yes.
Because, you know,
Visit is, yeah.
yeah, because I'll be trying to let people know that I'll be going backward and forward. Because to me, you don't have to pick a place. I am so sad when I see people trying to what, scare the hell out of somebody, that you have to move from the US or the UK and move to the motherland or you'll die. You know, that's not fair. And it are trying to make you feel like you have no common sense because you like it where you are. You're happy where you are. I mean, we have our family here. We have our friends here. We have our lives here. And that does not mean that we're in some place that we have to duck and dodge every second, you know, because we might not live in a place where these people living that's making all of this
Oh, I can't hear.
videos.
Let's see.
Can you hear, sis? Oh, I'm probably something happened with her phone. But yeah, it's just it bothers me when I hear them do that kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you should feel free to do whatever you need to do to make you happy, you know. That's why when I'm showing the videos in Galveston, I show them where I am at the time. And when I travel, I show them where I am at the time. I don't go out of my way to find the hood someplace because I don't even know if we have a hood in Galveston, you know. I'd have to pretty much go out of my way just to make a video to try to scare somebody to leave and go to the motherland. I think everybody should visit first and see if they like it and form some relationships.
Mhm. A
Oh,
visit is so important. She said something
yep.
about her phone.
She had a phone call and she couldn't hear. Okay. But thank you very much, SH, for coming in.
It
I
was nice
appreciate
seeing you, SH.
I appreciate you. And you know, I will be doing updates on Patreon, and I want y'all to be participants on projects that Habasi will be doing in the Gambia. I do want y'all to be actively giving me ideas and telling me what y'all think on what ideas that I'm sharing with y'all that I want to do while I'm there. Because actually, some people are trying to volunteer and all of that, and they're not a part of Patreon. They're not a part of Habasia, and that can't happen because folks actually have to have a relationship with me. Because what? I'm Habasia. You have to know what my ideas are, you know, before you go out there and interact with the people, because I don't want the image of Habasia to be damaged, because it's a 501c3, y'all, you know, and I actually want to help everybody. It's not because of any racial group. It's not because of any religion or anything. No ethnic group thing. It's just that it's in the developing countries of Africa. So you know everybody there that's going to be affected will be the people that live there. And so it's just through education, not to try to proselytize anybody or anything. So of course somebody off the street could not be allowed to do any volunteering because I would not have any relationship with them to develop trust, to feel like they would be able to interact with folks and not damage Habasia's image by something that they might do that they're not aware of that's not okay for Habasia. Because even on Habasia's website, anybody can look and see how it was set up. And I don't bash anybody because they're using their social skills to survive. People been using the C word all over the place. And then you find out what kind of jobs they had and what kind of jobs they retired from. And they, by their own definition, are exactly what they're calling other people. And that's why I did the video, The Splinter in My Eye. That folks are so quick to judge folks, but they worked in positions where they also wore the mask. They just in denial.
And
Hey.
some of them are still wearing the mask. Oh, yeah.
Happy to see you here. I'll be putting out the link. Come in, say hello if you feel comfortable. Okay, Liz, go ahead.
Well, that's it for me because I have to go and run a couple of errands today. I came in to support your channel. Thank you again for inviting me to come on to share some words with our family out
Thank
there.
you so much. I appreciate you.
And I appreciate the time that you spent with me on the phone. Guys, me, Stephanie and I, we can talk. I think our first telephone conversation was like 12 hours. We literally talked on the phone the entire day. And I really enjoy your wisdom, your advice, and you just being who you are. And you are not invisible to me. I see you and I hear you and I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay. I'll see you until next time.
Okay, bye. See you soon. Bye. Bye.
I don't know.
There you go. Oh, that Liz, she's a sweet young lady. All right, guys, I see some more of you out there. Let me know who's coming in. Let me know. Come in, say hello. I put out the link. Come in, say hi. Tell people what y'all think. Do y'all feel invisible sometime, or do y'all know people who feel invisible or see that folks could be seen as invisible because of, just say, they're in a class or caste that people ignore, be it ageism, getting older, or children, because sometimes children should be seen and not heard, or even not seen, just get out of my face. Some people, y'all, are still putting children in cars and leaving them unattended, even if they call themselves watching them by remote control from another area, but just so the kid will be out of their hair, So lots of people do things to children that it will make you scream, and as they say, drop a dime on them and turn them in to child protective services, even though child protective services sometimes also see the children as invisible and that they don't matter, and it's just a caseload, and just check them off because they don't see the situations that they're putting them in, so we'll see. And sometimes it's animals, because sometimes when I was looking at the animals in the different countries where I go, and almost make me cry, because yes, I do like animals. And sometimes they'll be so skinny that if I would not even ride a horse that's so malnourished, that look like if I got myself on the horse, it would hurt the horse and the horse might collapse and die or something. Or that the little donkeys were so skinny and people still hitting them with a stick to try to make them go faster in the heat, and they may die. because they beating them, or that dogs that you think of as so sweet, and that somebody just beats them with sticks, and they have bruises all over them, but they don't see the hurt that they cause this animal, because I don't know what they're thinking when they abuse animals. And sometimes I've seen little children that's been neglected that might be walking around, and you don't know where's the parents, where's the big siblings, because the kid is just walking around loose with nobody around. And people are spreading the thing that, oh, certain people have good family systems. No, people are dysfunctional everywhere. And sometimes they have these poor little children left alone, and they're invisible. And you know that not every place has protections, that even if you reach out to a child, they will not understand even what you're saying and feel like you're a threat, So a lot of times it's like feeling invisible and not knowing what to do to make it better for either for yourself or for somebody else. I see more people that's coming into the stream. Come in, let me know what y'all think. Have y'all ever felt invisible, or have you seen situations that let you know that these people was being seen as they don't matter? They're invisible. I don't care how they feel, and I don't care how they think. Or even if it's an animal like I saw, because I'm telling you, it was like too much sometimes on what you see. And yes, I do tell people something sometimes, but I take my time telling some folks. In the United States, I know I can get away with saying lots of stuff. But as I travel around in some places, certain things women are not expected to say. And so I tell the men that I know, and they handle it. So that part is also a part of being invisible, that I have to actually have a man say the same thing that I said, just so I can get things done when I'm in some places, because if I tell somebody, they'll act like they don't understand what I'm talking about. And they know quite well what I'm talking about, So it's a matter of forming relationships and letting people know that it's important that we all are heard, and that we have to respect everybody's rights to exist, and even the rights for animals to be protected too. Because when I get back and I get my own dogs that I actually would give names to, I'm going to make sure that the people that do help me out around the house sometimes, that I do not want anybody hitting my animals, to leave them alone, and that I expect that they get fed and have water, whether I'm there or not, that they'll understand what I expect to happen to keep my animals safe and healthy. Because I love, like I say, I love my animals, y'all. I love my dogs, I even had an affection for a cat or two in my time. But I do look at what's around me, and I do observe. I intervene when I feel like I can't intervene. I have taken in even grandchildren to finish school because they needed help. So sometimes it's a matter of just not ignoring somebody that have a need if you can. Because a lot of times the reason why people don't intervene is because sometimes when you acknowledge a problem, you have to be an answer to that problem or try to get it situated through somebody else and hope and pray that that person is going to be okay. You know, like a child abuse thing or whatever. Because if it's your grandchild or whatever, and you open up your home for them to come stay with you, well, then pretty much you're responsible for their care. So you might have thought, oh, I'm done raising kids, but it's like, oh, not. I got another one to help finish school. But if you just ignore it, you just say, it's not my problem. Well, then if they go from home to home to home to home, all this foster care, and you say, I have other things to do, well, then even your own grandchild can be invisible to you. So it's just if you want to see them, if you feel like you can intervene to make a difference. Because that's all a part of unity. That before we used to say it takes a village, and now the village turns into the state. And we say we don't want people, the state, fooling around in our business, but sometimes people just don't want to step up to the plate, even if it's a relative. So who else out there, guys? Let me know. Click in, tell me hello. Because I'm looking at the chats. I just need y'all to let me know what's going on with you guys. I don't want y'all to feel invisible. Let me know y'all out there, and I'll definitely say hello to y'all individually. And I'm sending out the link again. So if somebody wants to come in and have their say on the feeling of being invisible, whether yourself or just who you could imagine that you could see that would be seen as a quote nobody or somebody that their ideas was not valued, you know, or they was not worth your effort to feel like they mattered. Because if you acknowledge that it's there, then what? You know, if you acknowledge that it's there, you acknowledge that the problem exists. Well, are you the answer to the problem? Because that's what I read in a book before. It says, give somebody a problem, and then you become the answer to that problem. Well, it's also in reverse. If you see a problem, the part of the unity is, well, then are you even a little bit of an answer to the problem? Are you part of the solution, or are you part of the problem? Because sometimes people would run around from house to house when they getting abused or somebody trying to kill them. They knocking on door to door to door, and people close their curtains, walk away from their door, and the person end up getting murdered because nobody cared. They did not see them because they did not want to step up to the plate and give them refuge because they felt threatened themselves even, you know, and they might have not even picked up the telephone to call anybody to help them, you know. So what do y'all think, y'all? What do you think of as unity? Because I've been seeing a lot of people talking out here about unity, but they don't offer any solutions to it other than a hypothetical. But as for putting into practice, I haven't seen anybody doing any unity. It's pretty much just about keeping somebody in their place so you could get your needs met, but not to think of how what you do affects other people. that if we're all in this together, it has to be a multi-layered thing. It cannot be just business as usual. If it's going to be business as usual, if I could just stay here. If it's going to be business as usual, I wouldn't have to intervene with anybody if it's business as usual. I hope and pray that all my grandchildren are grown up and don't need somewhere to stay. But I'm not going to say that I wouldn't intervene if needed again to help any of my relatives. And yes, I have intervened to help people that also was not legally my relative, you know, and I've helped people here and in the motherland to do some things. We cannot help everybody. We're not saviors, but we can be effective in changing the lives of one or two people at a time. If each one could teach one, excuse me, that would be of some help. So who all else is out there? I see more people have joined the stream. Click in and tell me where y'all from before I wrap it up, because I don't see any more comments on here, because I do not want to burn y'all out. But I definitely like interaction. And I've been reading these books, The True Believer. This is one of them. It says Thoughts on the Nature of Mass Movements. And going back to the motherland is one of these mass movements, y'all. Some people trying to scare the devil out of you and get you into the mass movement, talking about Babylon and all this other kind of thing. But what are they creating when they get there? A lot of them are creating the same Babylon when they get there. Really, their whole thoughts is just to employ somebody for the same tiny wage or pay them nothing for what they have. Hey, Cece, I'm good. How about you, sis? Thank you for coming in. I'm going to put out the link if you feel comfortable. Come in, say something. Cece saying hello to everybody. Excuse me, y'all. I have like a little tickle in my throat. I'll put out the link again. If somebody wants to come in and have their say, like I said, I try to make this a safe forum for everybody to come out and be heard. Nobody is going to do anything to hurt you. You know, I want to hear what you have to say. Liz is saying hello. Finish the race, BL. Y'all, check out her channel. She's an up-and-coming YouTuber. You're going to see all kind of cool videos before she goes to Nigeria and when she gets there. Because we are actually sharing our lives with y'all. You know, we're sharing little snippets of our lives. I have a Juneteenth video out there that don't even have a whole lot of views, and I can't figure it out. I done tried everything, but actually, if you don't know anything about the 19th of June, please watch that Juneteenth video. It is very informative. It's behind the scenes. Behind the scenes look at the Juneteenth festival preparation for Galveston, Texas, where Juneteenth started. You need to know about it if you don't. And even if you do, you need to know that there's a movement going on. Like they say, a mass movement. It's a mass movement going on to make Juneteenth a national holiday. You know, a national holiday. Because people are already celebrating it and other places other than Galveston. But all of the people that's behind the scenes, they actually granted me an interview. And that's what's on that documentary short. So I would ask you to please watch it, share it with, you can share it with your children, grandchildren, anybody in your family, any of your friends. Just share it, y'all. Share it. It's actually a mini documentary, a documentary short, and it would tell you everything you need to know about the 19th of June. I was allowed to video record the pictures in there, the original works of art, which is something that you rarely get to do, you know, in a gallery. So I recorded the artwork, I took photos, and I heard what the artist had to say. Let me see what CC's saying. Okay, I don't have a camera on my computer. Oh, okay. Okay. CC is saying, I wish it's extremely important to help sometimes. It can be life-changing for them as well as yourself. Thank you for saying that. I agree with you. And she says, I'm praying right now for folks on the verge of foreclosure and eviction. Okay. Yeah, because they're saying it's invisible. That's true. People don't know idea what is out there. It's dangerous. Exactly. I agree with you. I agree with you. And I will pray too for the people that's on the verge of an eviction or foreclosure, because not everybody has a compound house. You know, not everybody has a compound house. My house here is a compound house because my mother used to look at homeless people and she would get so frustrated, and she would look at them and say, where they people at? You know, why don't they have somewhere where they can go until they get on their feet? You know, that's your compound house. That's an African retention, y'all. Even though my mom and them considered themselves Creole, and my grandmother, they had no idea of us having any, quote, African in us. She said Indian. What kind of Indian mother? I don't know. Just Indian. But they function just the same with the African retentions, with the compound house, which is no different than if you're living in the motherland and you need a place to stay, where you're at the family compound. So nobody has to be homeless. The only way they're homeless is if they decide they don't want to go back to the compound house, because the compound house is the family home where everybody is welcome. That's your welcome home, y'all. That's the original welcome home. And you can go there and contribute to the household, even if you don't have money. You won't have to worry about any burglar alarm system. Not if you're in a compound house, because there's always somebody there. You can cook, you can keep the house clean, you can cut the grass, you could paint the house. It's all kinds of things you can do. You can watch the people dog, or the family dog, if they travel, you know, have the grass cut. It's all kind of things that you can contribute when you're a part of the compound house. So, yeah, a compound house is part of our African retentions. You can imagine, even in my family, people think that, oh, I'm just nice because I have a compound house. But it is part of my African retentions. It is how I was raised by my mom. And if I give that up, then I'm part of the problem. I try to encourage folks to get themselves together, to get to the next level. So even if they continue to compound house when I'm no longer here, that they would be there to have a safe place for whoever else in the family that needs a place to stay. Because sometimes we have no control over being evicted. You know, if we lose our jobs, we once in a nice house, once in a nice apartment, but if we lose our jobs and then the support system of just say unemployment runs out, what can we do? You know, and you behind on your rent and all of that. I know they had a moratorium where they didn't kick you out, but you still owed them the money, you know? So yeah, I do pray for the people, and I pray also that they have, excuse me, that they have families somewhere where they can go and stay until they can figure out how to get on their feet, even if it's with creating an online business or something, you know, creating an online business, or if they're talented in the art world or crafting, and all they need is a place to stay until they sell some of their art or whatever. Sometimes that's all you need is a place to stay, because sometimes the rent is so prohibitive, and that paying a house note when you don't have any income, that's prohibitive. So if you have a compound house, that is a safety net. And yes, we do have that in the United States also, but it's I don't know. All I can talk about is for myself. This personally is a compound house, and I know that I'm not alone, but people actually want to be invisible when they have a compound house, because people will see it sometimes as a quote weakness because you extend the compound house to the people in your family that need this place to stay, that they really don't have the means to have their own place. But it works together, because like I said, I don't have to worry about my house being observed by any burglar alarm system, because it's always somebody here. When I travel abroad, it doesn't matter, because somebody's always at my house, you know. So nobody be breaking in here, because if they did, they would be breaking out of here if they had any sense, you know. So I don't have to worry about stuff like that. But yeah, those are invisible people too. All of your people that's behind the scenes, that's there as a support system for their family. Because lots of times people recognize you for doing things for people outside of your nuclear family, you know, so they see it as philanthropy. But when you help your family, they see it as a negative or weakness that you're enabling. And yes, it might be some of all those things, but it's also multi-layered, that is part of our unity as a family. And as we are in our families, that is how we build the community, because the first lessons we learn is within our families. So we learn how to interact with the world inside of our families. It's a small universe, you know. And even in my garden, I learned so many life lessons just working with my garden. And I learned a lot from working with the grandchildren that grew up in my household. I learned a lot from babysitting my cousins or playing with my cousins, you know, my baby cousins when I was a teenager. I learned so many life lessons by taking care of them from my aunt. You know, I love taking care of children. My grandmother would say, you're never going to have children because you like children too much, you know? And I didn't like that. I was like, I hope she's wrong in her little predictions because I did like children. And even when I had my own children, I get banned so I could take all of them to the zoo and to the mall and everywhere because I loved my family. I always loved my family. And I extend my love to my my family, my brothers and sisters, whether they're in the United States or in the motherland. And I'm telling you, whether they be social media or in person, I don't have a problem interacting with our brothers and sisters in either place. In Nigeria, I was there for a couple of months, and the pastor said, "She is one of us." And I know I did feel welcome, y'all. I did. I did. And my cousin is marrying a brother whose family is from the continent. So she's going to learn lots of things just like I did. So she's blessed, y'all. She's blessed. So let me know who's out there, y'all. Here we go. Thanks, CC. Say, our people have always done this. I believe in the 80s, attitudes change. We need to get back to the way we were, not to be taken advantage of, but like you said, it's multi-layered. Yeah, good. Thank you for that. Because like I said, I don't know if y'all heard me when y'all don't say nothing. So I appreciate you, CC, for saying that. I really do. And you're right. We have to have our limits. And y'all know I do. I have my limits. And I'm blessed that I was in an occupation like nursing. So when I retired, I actually have a retirement from the hospital where I was and a retirement with Uncle Sam. So I can maintain my compound house as well as travel to the motherland. And yes, I do pay my bills. I'm never going to brag that I don't have a mailbox. If I owe somebody, y'all, I'm going to pay them because even if you may never need them, it's karma out there, y'all. I think everybody should pay what they owe. And me, myself, I like to keep my credit standing up. I want to keep the cards I have because I can keep my cash for when I'm in the motherland because it's a cash system over there. I know they do have a couple of ATMs that work in the Gambia, but I don't even know where they are. My bank, Access Bank, I was there for, we'll just say 3 months. And I still did not get the 2 debit cards that I was supposed to get. So I have to wait till I go back there and mess with them until they give me my debit cards so I can get money out of the ATM at my bank, you know? But I'm just blessed, like I said, that I can maintain both places. But not everybody I know is that fortunate. Some people are forced to have to sell their compound house. And so then the other people who would have been benefiting from having a place to stay has to depend on the system that's here. So you have to go on all these waiting lists for housing and everything. And y'all know what happens when they just toss you in a place that's already overcrowded with people that's suffering. That's what makes all these problems, you know? And even if they have the scattered housing with the Section 8 housing, once you're there, you're lucky if you even get in it. And they give you the little voucher to pay for your housing, but you still have to maintain your utilities and all of that. So everything is multi-layered. So I pray that everybody learns how to improve their skills so people can be more entrepreneurial and have other streams of income. Because that's why I came back too, so I could work on other streams of income. And one of the things, as y'all know, if y'all been following me, I will sell my car because it's paid for now before I go back. And that will pay for my rent for the year. And that way I can take my time to decide what's my next step. But in the meantime, I've been working on other streams of income, even if it's just to pay for the just say the internet service in the Gambia while I'm there, because it can be prohibitive. So anyway, y'all, anybody else got anything to say before I wrap it up? Because I know it's people out there now, but I want y'all to be heard, y'all. This is a safe place. You want to say something, say it. If you don't have cameras that can come on, type it in, y'all, in the chat. You see, I don't have no super chat. You don't have to pay to be heard on this live stream. All you gotta do is just type it in and hit the button. That's it. And I will answer. I'll read out what you have to say. But if you want to come on to the stream, there's the link, and I'll click you in before I wrap it up. Because I'm telling you, all I'm doing is talking about feeling invisible and creating real unity. And when I'm talking about unity for me, I'm talking about unity in the community, whether it's simply starting with your family, because that's where we learn how to interact with people outside of the family. They're becoming a support system for your family, and not that you're doing everything for them. It's a concentric circle, y'all. And like they say, once you're inside the concentric circle, your time is money. So just say you're not paying for any security guard because you already have that built into your system. You're not paying for security guards. You're not paying for an alarm system. You're not paying for somebody to maintain the house while you're not there. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff that people that actually live by themselves have to worry about. You don't have to worry about, I've fallen and I can't get up. If I just scream out in my sleep, because I don't do that all the time, y'all, but sometimes my dreams are so vivid. I remember going, Ayama, help me, somebody. And my son, Ayama, would walk up and say, yeah, may I help you? I will wake up and I'll say, wow, was I talking in my sleep? And he like, yeah. So if I was by myself and I'll be screaming in my sleep or falling and can't get up, I just have to wait till I push the little button around my neck, if I was lucky enough to have that little button, and wait for somebody to respond and send an ambulance to my house. But instead, I actually have people here who could give me assistance, even if it's simple as opening up the garage door, closing the garage door, just like in the motherland, because our garage doors break in Galveston because it floods sometimes. So the little electronic sensor breaks. And so I'm not going to keep replacing that every other month when it's raining. So my son opened the garage door, closed the garage door, so I don't have to worry about at night anything, So somebody is always there to open the garage door and close the garage door. And one of my friends, she lives by herself. And instead of her getting somebody to cut her grass, she's out there cutting the grass, and I don't cut the grass. I don't take out the trash or nothing like that. It's somebody else at the house who does that, So It's all cooperative. You know, it's cooperative and it's interactive. So you get something, you're giving something, and you're getting something. It's not just a one-way street, but it's the perception that other people see. Because in a Western concept, you only care about yourself. And so when you get older and you haven't helped anybody, so of course they may be bitter when you need help and just be ready to just help you go to the nursing home, you know? And then when something happens and you call them and you say, do you want to see your mama? Do you want to see your daddy before they come and take them away to whatever little place? And they'll be like, for what? It was a mess when I was doing nursing. I'm telling y'all, I hated calling the families to make final arrangements because some of them did not want to be bothered. It was like you got on their nerves just calling them on the phone to let them know that their family member had gone on to some other place other than this earth. So anyway, guys, I hope that we at least touched on some things that'll make you think, what can I do if I see something that I feel like is not right, whether it's for yourself or for somebody else or for simply something else like an animal, you know? Because me, I'm going to be advocate for my animal when I'm in the Gambia. It's like no matter who's at my house, that's going to be there when I'm not. They'll have rules that this is what's needed to take good care of my pet, that it's a pet, which is a Western concept. And they know that, yes, I will treat them as an equal. Nobody is beneath me. I don't talk down to people. I treat everyone like I want to be treated, because I remember how I felt when I didn't have money and I wanted to get into the system just simply to get prenatal care and be told that my husband made $8 too much. And I said, it's an overtime check. And the lady that was a social worker said she didn't care. And then I had to go somewhere else to get in their sliding scale just to get prenatal care, and still having to get my mother to help us finish paying for that prenatal care, because it had to be paid off by your 7th month of pregnancy or they would kick you out of the program. And my husband really wasn't making that much money as a nurse and orderly. He worked 40 hours a week and was going to pharmacy school. And so I told him, why don't he work on the weekends? And so that's what he did. He worked Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it was like 8 hours, 16 hours, 16 hours. You know, or however many hours it worked out of. So that way he just worked on the weekend so he could study during the week. But at first he was doing 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, trying to make it. And we still needed help to finish paying that for prenatal care before it was done. And just imagine, some places, or lots of places, have no sliding scale services, have no prenatal care unless you have money up front to pay. So we're blessed that we have some social services in this place. But I was blessed, especially because my mother was there and she had my back. Because otherwise, I probably would have just been having my baby with no prenatal care after 7 months, because I couldn't come up with the remainder of the money. Because I've seen some people crying and getting kicked out the program. And they definitely didn't even look like me, y'all. They didn't care. Just as long as you didn't cough up that money by your 7th month, they put you out that program. So is it anybody else out there? Because I have that link. Because I want y'all to let me know what y'all think. I hope we all start thinking about how it feels to be the person on the other end, and try not to feel intimidated when y'all go places. Like I said, just because somebody feels confident in who they are should not make you feel like they think they are better than you, because you have to also think how you're treating someone who's even just taking care of you. That did you go to the motherland and say, oh, they don't get tips, they don't get tips here, so then you don't give them a tip, and not realize that some of them get paid food, like they say, we'll work for food. They're working for food and their minimum wage, which may be less than what we want to get paid per hour. So if people want to say the minimum wage is $15 per hour, they may be getting paid less than that per day. And when they go to the store, they have to buy the same stuff we buy, because we brought the prices up, the diasporans, as we move in and we ask for stuff. It raises the price of everything. So they have to go to special places to buy stuff that may be the rejected fruits and vegetables and all. So they could get it for a cheaper price, and just have to take the inferior quality because that's what they can afford. So that's all I can say about unity. We have to try to get people to another level, but simply we can do that by just thinking of what we're doing. And if we can just help in one tiny way, even if it's just, like I said, just giving somebody a tip when they take care of you, and not berating them for the way they waited on you or whatever. That if you want them to do something in a specific way, that it's a way that you can tell somebody that you like the service, and you give them a tip, and it's a conditioned response. The next time you go, they will remember you and they'll do better, because everything is a learning process. So you have to give people a learning curve. That's all I'm saying. We all can do our part, whether it's cooperative economics, buying stuff while you're there, local people. Because I've seen a lot of people talk about Pan-Africanism and cooperative economics, but when it comes time to buy something, they're there buying it from people that you can consider the oppressor or whatever. So they are making them richer and richer, and they are not empowering anybody to any self-sufficiency. They're ignoring the services of the people that's there. And like Finish the Race VL was saying, if you can train somebody so they can improve their skills, or teach them a skill, like installing solar power, creating earth bricks to build housing, plumbing. It's lots of things that you guys might know. The computer skills, working with cameras, it's lots of things that people know. Because I know it's lots of things that I don't know, and even down to having somebody teach you their language, that's something that you could actually arrange to get done for a reasonable price, and that you can listen to the price that they say and calculate it inside of your head and dollars or pound or whatever other currency you have, and figure out if it's reasonable to you. And then pay them, y'all, and pay them on time. Because some people, they'll wait not pay people for 1 and 2 months. I know what I'm talking about. Some places, they have not been paid for 6 months. And that's people that work in the government, for the government. And they expect them to still take care of their families and stuff. You know? So if we are not part of the problem, then yeah, we're part of the solution. So not to go with a savior complex, but just going simply as a brother, a sister that can what? See them. Because you know that they see you. When you get off the plane, it's welcome home. I'm so happy you're here. And most of the times it's genuine. But you can build relationships over time, y'all. Give yourself time. You can learn the culture when you get there. You can learn the language when you get there. And while you're here, if you know somebody from the motherland, just like they told y'all, welcome home, you can welcome them in whatever kind of way you know how to welcome somebody, you know, let people feel comfortable. And you'll get your relationship and maybe get invited to a party or a wedding or something, so you can learn something about their culture, as well as invite them to something you have so they can learn your culture. So it's a give and take. We can be proud of our culture, because yes, we do have a culture, because culture is fluid. Because that's one of the feeling invisible things too, to think that your culture has no worth, you know, that you have to have a magic wand, aka going back to Africa, just to get healed and just to get some culture. Hey, Salif, how are you? Everybody, that's my friend and my family member from the Gambia. And we know that it's a different time zone over there. So they're like 5 hours and ahead of us. So I appreciate you clicking in, Salif. How are you? I'm so glad you stopped by. And when I go there, y'all, we be hanging out. We be going places together, doing things. Yeah. So I learned a whole lot from Salif. So thank you for clicking in so everybody can actually see, like they say, I see you, because you're one of my behind the scenes people. And so people don't know. It's like they just imagine I have an imaginary friend in the Gambia. But y'all can see that, yes, I do really have a real person here in Salif. So thank you for clicking in so everybody can see that you're here. I appreciate you. I do. All right, y'all. Is there anybody else out there I need to acknowledge? Let me know where you coming from, because I am going to wrap it up in a bit, because I have to know what you're thinking, what further subjects that you want me to talk about when I come on, because I have ideas on lots of different subjects. I have stories. I've accumulated them over a lifetime, and I will share them with y'all. But you have to let me know what interests you. Even if you don't tell me now, you can put it in the comments later, and I read the comments all the time. And then I will include it in the next live, because I'm going to do this every other Sunday, 2 o'clock, until I'm in the Gambia, y'all. and I will be uploading more videos as I'm led. I'm getting ready to go to my cousin's wedding, so I'm going to have video of my travels to the Dallas, Arlington area. A little of the video of the wedding itself, even if it's just on the outside, y'all, because who knows, maybe you won't be able to even record inside, but at least it'll be the wedding, how people look at the wedding before and after, even if not during. Definitely at the reception, they be getting down, they'll be getting down. So I have to record that. I know everybody gonna have their cameras off of that. And then as well as how the hotel looks where I'm at, because I'm using my free night, the anniversary free night, and points. So Muriel Denglish. Hey Muriel, how are you? Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for saying hello. Let me know what ideas you have, either for the subject matter that we're talking about today, or an idea for a future live. And she's telling hello everybody too. So I hope y'all let me know what ideas y'all have for me. Like I said, if you want to, that's okay. It's no problem. It's no problem. I'm just glad you showed up. I'm glad you showed up. I'm fine with African time, as long as you showed up so people could see that you were here. And that's the whole point about it, that I want y'all to know that I see y'all, that y'all are not invisible. Y'all are very important to me. Y'all make me feel so good to know that y'all are hearing me. And hopefully something I have to say has helped you in some tiny way, whether it's how you think or how you interact with other people, because it's always about building relationships. Like I said, the relationship building starts at home and it extends out into the broader community. Yeah, we all work together, as they say, working together for the good. I would sure hope so. And I'm telling y'all, if y'all have a family house anywhere, I just want y'all to know that I am proud of you. Y'all are part of our African culture, whether you knew it as African culture or not. So when you see the homeless people out there, at least you'll know that ain't my relative. Ain't my relative. That I'm there for you, because I know I've stayed at some of my cousins' house before when I traveled. I remember from when I was a teenager, I've stayed at my family's houses. And sometimes they'll be like begging me not to leave. I was their entertainment system. See, that make me feel good. You hear me? But I was my family's entertainment system. So when I want to be leaving, like just say California, I visited my cousin in California. I thought I was going to be an airline stewardess. Well, back then you had to have perfect teeth, and y'all know I don't. You had to be taller. You had to be like brighter. Oh, you had to have a nice straight long wig. So I actually hadn't done any of that. I had a nice afro that looked like Angela Davis. I mean, I was an 18-year-old, y'all, when I tried to be an airline stewardess and I didn't get it. Then my cousins offered to help me to get welfare. Yeah, in California back then, they actually would let single women that's 18, because they consider you an adult, they would let you get money, welfare money, food stamp, housing. But I had never in my life had welfare. And to me, it was a no. I had gone to Catholic school. I had learned the value of an education, knew the value of reading, and I knew that that wasn't for me. I just felt like if I took something for nothing, that I would never get anywhere because I'll be stuck in that place. And so when my mama sent me the money for me to get souvenirs, I got a one-way ticket in, on bus ticket in, and came back home. And then when I was in Texas, what did I do? I went to junior college so I could get an education. And then I ended up becoming a registered nurse, and the rest is history. I never once was in the welfare system. And I had the sliding fee for my prenatal care the first time. Then afterwards, I had private insurance for the other two. And I was so happy that I made sure that those insurance payments was made, because I didn't want to ever have to beg anybody for their charity. I remember how it feels, and I don't want to ever have that happen to me. So I feel good that I'm blessed to be able to be a blessing to others, even if it's just simply one person at a time, whether it's inside of my immediate family or extended family. So anyway, y'all, I appreciate all of you that came in to say hello. I appreciate all of you who are going to watch this live at a later time, because I know that with all of these graduations going on and other things that's happening, that not everybody could stop by and say hello or say how they actually felt. You know, the cameras might not have been working right, but for everybody who was brave enough to tell me something, I appreciate y'all. You really contributed to this live. And I pray that lots of people watch it in the replay. I do. I hope lots of people watch it and they start thinking about the things that we've discussed. I was so happy that Liz from Finish the Race VL stopped by and shared her ideas with us. I hope her channel explodes, y'all, and that she gets to a higher level, because she wants to help so many people, and I know it's going to help her grow while she's helping others, because that's how it works, y'all. What you do to help somebody is actually helping you. It's actually helping you. It's just the way you see people, is that you see people that, if not for the grace of the Most High, it could be me. The way you treat people will be different. Their tone of voice, your mannerisms will be different. The way you appreciate art, and I hope y'all do art appreciation before you go to the motherland, so you can understand how much work it is to create a work of art. And I say that because I create art and I don't sell my work. They're part of my collection. They're my babies that I couldn't imagine selling my work and people don't want to pay me almost nothing for it, because they think of it like they think of a print, a cheap print at that, that's mass produced or made by a machine. So when I do my art, even if it's my jewelry, I do it for myself. I give it as gift to my friends and relatives. But I encourage the professionals to sell their work, and I will be a cheerleader with the cooperative for them to get more value for their art, to let them know their worth, even down to just saying no when somebody offers them some ridiculous amount that won't even pay for their paints, because you have to import acrylic paint for the most part when you're in the Gambia. At least it's no big shopping mall for you to go and get the acrylic paint. And if you go to a regular paint store, yeah, you can buy acrylic paint, but you're going to have to buy it in those cans, and who knows how much that's going to be, because it's all imported. It's all imported. The things we take for granted here, that it's just not that available there. I was staying at a place that the guy did artwork, and all his artwork was with oils. That art needed to be done with acrylic because it was outside. And whenever the sun came out, it faded his art. So he needs acrylic paint, and he needs to be able to coat it with a clear coat to seal it off, because his artwork is beautiful. But he didn't even understand about the acrylic paint because he didn't have the opportunity to even know about acrylic paints. I gave him a book about artists and sketching and all of that, and gave him a sketch pad and some pencils. But it's things, just small things, to help people improve their art. And the best thing to do is the cooperative economics. That's something all of us can do. You know your limits. I know my limits. And if we stick to that, we'll be doing fine without thinking somebody's trying to scam you because they're trying to get a fair price for their art. It's different if you're in the grocery store and you know the price and they're trying to make it a different price for you. But stuff like arts and crafts, that's a whole different ball game. But y'all, I don't see anybody else checking on here, and we've been here quite some time. So I am going to wrap it up. I pray that y'all will leave a comment when y'all get a chance and you think about it, what you want me to cover. And maybe I'll just put a little poll out there. Y'all can vote on it on the community page and let me know what subject matter would interest you most on the next video. Not video, but live stream, because it'll be in 2 weeks at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. So all I can say is, y'all, I love all of y'all. Agape love. I appreciate all of my Patreons and all of my people that's subscribers. I'm going to click on all of these banners because it's going to be showing in the replay, because somebody might want to know. So I'm showing my Patreon connection, my PayPal connection, my Cash App. And that helps support Black media, my media. Because I haven't won the lottery yet, y'all. And no, I'm not monetized with YouTube. Maybe one day in this lifetime, I don't know. But in the meantime, it's all good. I do it for y'all. That's what I do it for. So anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap it up for real this time. As I always say, peace, peace, power to the people. And I'm out, y'all. Bye.